Hi, Randy Pearson here with Gordon Marketing. I'm the Vice President of Life and Annuities, and welcome to another edition of Selling Life and Annuities, where today I have one of our best life insurance minds here at Gordon Marketing, Paul Bechtold, and we're going to be talking about the fallacy of buy term and invest the difference. So stay tuned. All right, Paul. I've been in the business for 30 years and I've heard that a lot over my career. Buy term and invest the difference. In the title of this episode, we're saying the fallacy of buy term and invest the difference. Expound on that. What's the point that we're trying to make here?
Well, there's really several points to it, Randy. First is because life insurance is not an if product, it's a when product, right? The sad fact is the mortality rate is holding strong at 100%. And we will all face that day one day when we need life insurance to pass our estate on to our loved ones, right? So it's not an if you're going to pass away, it's when you're going to pass away. So of all your other benefits that you buy, other kinds of insurance, auto, homeowners, health insurance, disability, whatever the case may be, those are if products. This is a when product, okay? The second thing is that became a very popular theme through a guy by the name of A.L. Williams back in the early 70s when back then products were not near as efficient or robust as they are today. They did not have the features that they have today. And whole life was pretty much a stodgy product, right? You paid your premium in,
Sure.
Part went to the cost of insurance, part went to the cash part of the policy. And A.L. Williams said, due to the inefficiency of these policies and what you can get in market returns, we could buy term insurance and we could invest the difference of that premium into the market, get a better return and be better off. But a couple things happened along the way. The first is people did not buy term and invest the difference. They bought term and spent the difference.
There you go. Yes.
So, and then the second thing is because we are dealing with an if product, not a when product, people started kind of playing the game of saying, well, if I have a product and it's going to expire in the future, 20 years, 30 years down the road, I'll wait a couple, 3 years before I get that started, save myself the premium, and then avoid that expiration later on in life when I'm most likely to need it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The last thing I would like to say is that no matter the scenario, when you buy term and invest the difference, eventually, if you live long enough, you end up uninsured, which is the real problem.
Sure.
And at that point in life, even if you can't afford it, you may not be able to get it due to health underwriting reasons. And if you can get it, it's probably going to be very expensive.
True that. So, as the manager of our most successful program ever here at Gordon Marketing, life insurance program, that being your family bank, how does this whole concept of buy term and invest the different relate to YFB?
Well, we get a lot of people when you show them that we're using a whole life product in order to help them get out of debt. They immediately want to revert into that mindset and start thinking of a better way to lever it and a better way to save themselves on that cost of insurance that they want to talk about. And what we show them is that in a properly structured cash value whole life insurance product like we use for the Your Family Bank program, they can get back every penny that they paid into the policy, as well as create multiple other financial benefits. They're going to benefit them for the rest of their life and for their loved ones as well. So
can you expound on that a little bit for agents that maybe are only out there selling simple life insurance products like term insurance or final expense? When you talk about some of the other added features and benefits of a quality permanent product, what might some of those be?
Well, the first one is we can show them how to lever up that product and help their client get out of debt. And we can show them how eventually that cost of insurance goes away through the compounding of the interest inside of the policy, how it can be used to not only create a death benefit for them that's inevitable for everybody, but also the living benefit aspect of that whole life policy as well. So terminal illness, critical illness, chronic illness. So we really create a plan that works for them no matter what happens the rest of their life.
Yeah, and even waiver of premium opportunities too. If they become disabled and can't work, the plan becomes self-completing, right?
Exactly.
Not much else out there that can do something like that. I've got a note here. Seems like a lot of people, as you said earlier, might die uninsured. I mean, what do you mean by that? How does that relate to this conversation?
Well, let's just say you found somebody that was 40 years old and they said, I'm going to buy a term policy, but I'm going to do it for a 30-year term. Well, people are living longer than ever, right? So even if I had a 30-year term policy, just the longest term we could do usually. Now they're 70 years old, and at 1 minute and a second past midnight in 40 years, they no longer have life insurance anymore, right? So all of a sudden they are uninsured for the moment, and if they choose to get insurance again, it's going to be very costly.
True. Yeah.
And they may not qualify.
Absolutely. Well, I think what we've kind of discussed here, especially for the novice life insurance producer, is that there are a lot of nuances to permanent life insurance or life insurance in general that they may not be familiar with. I would certainly suggest that if an advisor is watching this video and we've piqued their interest in learning more about the nuances between term insurance and permanent insurance, and particularly how they might be able to utilize permanent insurance much more effectively for their clients, they should reach out to myself or certainly Paul Bechtold, the manager of our Your Family Bank program, for more details. I'm sure, Paul, you've got a wealth of information you could forward to an advisor to help educate them, right?
I would love to speak to that agent that is pretty much in the term market only and show them how they could step over that chasm into the permanent side of the business and sell more life insurance than they ever thought possible and really boost their income.
There you go. And that's what, certainly helping people is our principal objective, but improving agents, advisors' cash flow is another primary objective of ours. So with that, we're going to call this episode of Selling Life and Annuities to an end. I want to thank Paul for joining me today, and thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned every Tuesday for new episodes of Selling Life and Annuities. Make sure you click subscribe below, and we'll see you next Tuesday.